I'm Bambi Francisco for Vader TV, the network for innovators, and I'm joined by Thom Calandra, a co-founder of MarketWatch, my former employer. Thom has been working on a novel called Pablo by Numbers, and he's here to talk about his book and the lessons he's learned as an entrepreneur. Thom, thanks for joining us.
Well, good to be here, Bambi.
Thom, you've released some of the chapters of your book online, so I've been reading, and as I read this, it really looks like this is either a fictionalized version of your life, or this is really actually your life. Which one is it?
Well, Bambi, you know, people ask first thing, you're writing a novel, are you in the novel? And I have to say, I don't know, was F. Scott Fitzgerald in F. Scott Fitzgerald's works, or was Ernest Hemingway part of Ernest Hemingway's fiction? Not that I'm anywhere near that league. But I have a lot to say, and I think people will find Pablo by Numbers to be not only funny, but somewhat instructive about the business that we were in, media, financial, investment newsletters, the kind of high-strung world of stock promoters.
Why did you write this book? Is there something you want the audience to walk away with?
Well, I think, look, I mean, we all know the background. After 7 or 8 years at MarketWatch, I was there at the beginning, and I loved it, and I think we all created a great product. I left under a little bit of a thundercloud, and I've since settled my my debt to financial society, I should say, and actually it was a very good lesson I learned. And I think that there's something to be said about that world of stock promotion, financial markets, the melt-up, the kind of melting up of financial assets to the point where almost no human being in the world can resist dipping their hand into the pot. And the cast of characters. We were lucky enough to have Stockhouse.com, kind of a mini MarketWatch. Mm-hmm. Serialized the first 4 excerpts. The book will be published in the springtime. And I think people who were part of our audience from 3 or 4 years ago at MarketWatch and the Calandra report, and it was a fast-growing audience of mostly wealthy people, but ordinary folks too, will see that this is part of the adventure once again. Not just the stock-picking adventure, but the Gulfstream jets and the dining and the wining and the mines, the technology companies, the 14 cities in one day kind of scene that most of the financial world knows about.
So is this, for people, sort of a caveat emptor, this is what could happen to you as an entrepreneur or as a trader of anyone who is trying to make money or in this fast-moving world? This is what can happen to you, and watch out. Is this that type of book?
Yeah, I mean, you know me. Until my final 2 years at MarketWatch, I was, very laid back, and like all of us, we were working 14 and 16 hours a day trying to make it work. And I got caught up in the, let's just say I started to believe my own beeswax.
And you say that in your book, too.
Yes, and I think that when you reach that point and become full of yourself, there's no room inside yourself for anything or anyone else. I tell a little story in the question and answer that we ran a couple weeks ago on Stockhouse and on ThomCalandra.com that talks about Papa, my wife's dad, my father-in-law, coming over one night during the heyday. This was about 2000, 2001, maybe 2002. And, it's 6 o'clock on a Sunday, and he looks at me. I'm in front of the laptop, and the kids are playing in the corner. And he just looks at the kids playing in the corner, and he looks at me and raises an eyebrow. And I said, "But Papa, Hong Kong just opened."
I know. You were a bit intense during those days. I should disclose Thom was my boss back during the MarketWatch days. Thom, you have a quote here. And it reads, "After Picasso had earned eternal fame, the artist found he could scrawl drawings using a pencil, strokes of lipstick on a tablecloth, or charcoal across a torn paper bag in return for meals and other favors." You identify with with Picasso? I mean, your book is named after him. Why do you identify with him?
Well, you know, the very first sentence in the novel, then, after that elliptical phrase, is, this isn't about Pablo's script, it's about mine. I think what I'm trying to say is that after dealing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, a transaction, I might say, that was probably the best thing ever to happen to me in my professional life, because they slowed me down and did the right thing. I found, after I was recovering from the shock of it, and I settled with the SEC financially and can go my separate ways. This is all ancient history in my life, 3 years ago. We found ourselves in London one summer visiting some old friends. And I found increasingly, after I came out of hiding, you know, from under the covers, anybody who's been in shock or had post-traumatic shock disorder or deep depression can identify with that. When I came out from under the covers and became myself again, I found that people would stop me everywhere. Mostly airport lobbies and waiting queues and hotels and restaurants. And I remember when I was studying Picasso how he could really just scrawl something on a piece of paper and pay for his meals. And I'm going to leave it at that right now. But as you know, the Calandra report and the work that we did at MarketWatch and that I did drew millions and millions of readers, millions, and also the TV show that we did on CBS and the radio broadcasting, millions of people. And at some point, we and I became a self-fulfilling prophecy. I find that in a
You said you became a one-person road show.
Yeah,
where no one could knock you off your high horse.
That's right, a one-person road show. Nobody could knock me off my high horse. And when they did, I learned a lot about myself and about my friends and my family and about slowing down. And like I tell people nowadays, instead of quoting the Calandra report and 1,000 stock tickers, you know, by memory, now I quote more the 1934 Securities and Exchange Act. And maybe a little bit of the Bhagavad Gita in the Bible.
Yes, yes. You shared some lessons already about slowing it down. Do you have any other lessons to share with the entrepreneurs? Well,
absolutely I do. And in fact, we can combine this with what are you doing? You know, a friend of mine who's very technologically oriented, Andy Farrell, and I started ThomCalandra.com, T-H-O-M, Calandra.com, because we found increasingly that there were people, lots of people, like hundreds and hundreds and now thousands of people wondering, well, what happened to Thom? I made money with you, Thom. You know, this whole time I think there have been one or two people, and I make a little joke in the question and answer we ran, some guy in Perth, Australia, who sends nasty notes, and everything else has been overwhelmingly positive. Thom, you made money. When are you coming back? Are you going to be writing investment newsletters again? And I want to say thank you to the SEC, because I can do that if I like. But to be honest, it's been so much fun being unconflicted, knowing that I can help out my friends, that I can invest in startups. And in fact, as a matter of full disclosure,
you are an investor invader.
I am an investor invader.com, and Bambi is one of those very few people in the world, in my world, that I know that can turn a few $100,000 into a few $100 million. Entrepreneurs, I would say do it from your heart. I mean, if you go to ThomCalandra.com, you're going to find some amazing stuff. But we're just starting out on an adventure. And next week, we'll be closing up the excerpts with a final column from Thom on Stockhouse that gets distributed around the world. And I'll be talking about how you can join me on the adventure. And this is not a money-making proposition for me. I do hope that it's a money-making proposition for my audience, though.
Okay. Thank you, Thom. And when is your book coming out?
The book itself in book form will be out in the spring.
Okay.
And as I said, the 4 excerpts are there at stockhouse.com. And you can get to them through thomcalandra.com. And I think that you're going to find that the adventure includes more than just stock tickers, although they may be involved. It involves a whole world, the world that we all love: art, food, finance, children, family, anything but religion and politics.
So far it is very well written from what I've read. So good luck on your adventure, Thom.
Thank you. You too, Bambi.
I've been speaking with Thom Calandra. He is the author of Pablo by Numbers. It comes out this spring. I'm Bambi Francisco.